what are some of these hidden costs that people don't truly
Oh my
realize?
gosh, approvals,
Okay.
right? So you got a job and you're ready to run it. You've done the print. The client wants to see the first off sample. So you're on press. You got the sample. You told them to be there at 10:30. 10:30, you've got this piece for him to look at, and they don't show up. The press is tied up. You can't print. You're waiting for him to approve it,
Hmm.
and your press is burning $100 an hour. $120 an hour is $2 a minute. So it's delays, it's holding. When I look at, and I've charted this with tens of thousands of jobs over the last 20 years, literally you've got setup time, approval time, run time, and teardown time. And the approval times are one of the most common delays that you can't make up. And people just don't get that time is money in that case.
Hmm.
So if they want to have an on-press approval, it's like they've got to be there. Otherwise, you're charging them $2 a minute, for press time.
And approvals with customers, are there ways for them to reduce that cost? Maybe like reducing.
Well, just look at art approvals.
Hmm.
If you've got a job that's scheduled to run tomorrow and they need to art approve it that afternoon, if they don't art approve it that afternoon, you can't make screens, you can't run it the next day. Now you got a hole in your schedule that was forecast or budgeted to cover your costs for the next day. So now you don't have enough work unless you can pull it in to cover that open time because of the approval.
Can you almost break down that cost of approvals to saying, hey, it's worth it to hire someone else to follow up with these people to move it even quicker?
Bigger shops, absolutely.
Interesting, interesting. And so that's seeing like how long it's in Printavo specifically with like the status or the stage of that process, almost timing that and knowing that that is taking away from being able to increase your
Right.
turnover. But now take into account, right, that press could be busy with other jobs too. Is it the
It
problem when it's not being able to run though because that job's not approved and it's holding up?
right. Or stock may not have arrived,
Hmm.
or it arrived and it was wrong. That's another big one,
Yeah,
right? You ordered larges and they sent you extra larges.
yeah,
Well, crap, I'm not going to set that job up because I'm short 6 pieces,
right.
right? So what do I do? And what happens if that job was a 300-piece run? Now you've got an open slot in your schedule for a 300-piece run that you've got to drop something else in there. Otherwise, you're going to eat that cost.
Gosh, that is one area. I mean, we've been working heavily on approvals and speeding that up a lot, and we actually just showed Mark through a lot of our automation around approvals. But the incorrect stock is something I've chatted with a lot of shops where it's almost very frustrating that it's to a point where I feel like shops would pay a certain amount a month to have correct quality goods sent to them that are correctly counted. There's no holes, there's no issues like that. Like it's to a point where they would pay extra. And
Yeah,
I guess
and
maybe I
so
just don't
that's
understand.
a perfect example, Bruce,
Yeah.
of value add. If you know that the industry typical accounting for holes or hems that aren't sewn right or tears in the shirts is a 0.5%, you could actually pay for 99.9% accuracy. We could calculate the economic value of that to you and also to the distributor for that kind of level of accuracy.